All right, good evening, ladies and gentlemen out there in YouTube land. I am Deleted Scenes coming to you live from my local AT&T office. No, but more on that later. I am a human being, American, and YouTuber, and I'd like to welcome you to tonight's episode of the Mystery Movie Night podcast. The chat is already jumping. FKHC 2005, sometimes known as Tim. Faithful Blue Wrench. Channel member, the Bird Woman of YouTube. Watch out for her second channel, Fluff Chick Productions. It's Connie Cleary. Channel member, JP, RPH1. Enigma Severus in the house. All right. John Doe Juggalo. Good to see you, sir. Friend of the channel. Our man from the future, Shashi. The Bosco Scenario. All right. Well, my fellow panelists are all here backstage, so I'm going to bring them on. Now, my first fellow panelist is someone who actually had me held hostage until a few minutes before the show started. I have been in the trunk of her car for hours, and I have been given no food or water, and quite frankly, it was a very horrific experience, and the authorities have been notified. You know her, you love her, you cannot live without her. The reason why I know you are all really and truly here, Sin's Corner.
It just gets worse and worse. You look quite healthy for someone who was starving and dehydrated, I must say.
I was immortalized. I'm frightened, and I need to, quite frankly, to hide behind someone because this woman frightens me beyond
get
all
the two
reaches
others
of
up here.
rational
They'll
thought.
protect you.
So, the man I referred to is my personal Robert McCall. He may actually be the equalizer off the cover.
Hello out there in Radio Land. Here.
All right. And our special guest, who's probably wondering exactly what the hell he has walked into.
What did he get himself into?
What has he done? Mr. Wilkie's Movies and Music himself, Corey.
Thank you very much for having me on. One of us will be wondering what we got ourselves into by the end of the night, one way or the other, myself or you. We'll figure it out at the end. We'll sort it out.
It'll probably be you, Corey.
But I very much appreciate it. I'm excited to hang out with y'all and talk
It's
about
great
this.
to have you.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
Nice to meet you, man.
All right. So,
Okay.
well, we guessed right, folks. So
We did.
since we already made our kind of guesses public between here and other platforms, so we're just going to jump into it without any further ado. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight's movie, Drew Hancock's Companion, from the producers of Barbarian. And this is a horror movie with a twist, kind of a little sci-fi
More like
twist.
A black comedy, too.
Yes.
Very
I
much
would
so.
agree. Yes.
I
yes.
don't
There
see
was a
much
lot of
horror.
laughter.
I chuckled
that-
quite a bit through this
Oh,
one, actually.
same. There was a lot of laughter in my theater.
Yeah. I mean, I actually failed to see how this is a horror movie. This is
I-
a fantastic thriller, but there was no jump scares or anything.
No.
That was one thing I wanted to hit on when we. I won't go into it too much, but yeah, it was labeled as rated R horror, and I'm not saying that made me like it or not like it after what I saw, but I don't know if I completely agree with
That label's a little misleading.
A little.
Didn't AMC call it Scream Unseen?
Correct. Yeah, for sure.
Mhm.
It's not.
Yeah.
I would not classify this as horror at all.
Yeah.
Alright. And a couple of people have joined us in the chat. And John Doe has a Jane Doe. So hello. Hello to the missus. All right.
That's Jeff's mom. Yep.
All right. Oh. Did I mess
For
that
John.
up?
No, you're good.
Oh, my
I'm
bad.
just saying, John Doe Juggalo. That's his mom.
Okay,
Oh,
now we
I'm
know.
sorry.
Yep.
I thought that was my bad, ma'am. Thank you very much for being here. And
I always joke around. She's my honorary mom. So if you see later in the chat, I say hi,
Okay.
mom. She's my
Oh,
She's
okay.
my honorary mom. So
I am eliminating myself after the broadcast if it's any consolation. All right. Acres of Movies is also here with us. I didn't enjoy this movie at all,
Oh,
and I can see why you
okay.
discounted this one for us. Okay.
Ooh,
Um,
hard
alright.
disagree.
Yeah. Same.
I might have a disagreement coming up on my side too. So
Saucy's saying, just give a bad review, deleted 1 out of 10, will not do again. Well, I can't because I actually surprisingly enjoyed this movie a good deal.
For a January
I'm not-
movie too.
I know. Yeah.
Yeah, a couple of
It's just-
January movies in a row here that were actually pretty decent.
I have one
All
other
right.
movie to compare it to, but we'll get into that in spoiler section.
Okay.
Yep.
I think you know exactly which movie I'm referring to.
Yep.
All right, so let's get started. Ladies first, Sin.
The trailer gave away way too much. The second
yeah.
trailer.
Yes.
That pissed me off. I did not want to know this about the main character. I thought this movie was hilarious. I like that the blend of the comedy and the thriller was just right for me. Like it was perfect. I love the dialogue, and the twists and turns, and there were multiple ones in
Yeah.
here. So the second trailer doesn't give everything away. It gives way too much, but there was a lot of laughter in my crowd. I
Mine
can't
too.
wait to see this movie again. I had a feeling I was going to like it, and I am really enjoying Sophie Thatcher.
Oh my god, she was so good. She
Right?
was so good.
Right? Did you see her in Heretic? Because that's when I first started noticing her.
Oh, I need to wait. Heretic was that
With-
the one with
Hugh Grant.
Hugh Grant.
Yeah.
Yes, I saw that. That was
Yeah.
great.
Yeah,
I
well,
didn't know
that was
that
when I first noticed her.
Wow. Okay.
And I was like, okay, I like her acting. And then when I saw this, this I've seen it. Okay, this reminds me of people talking about the Robbie
No,
Williams
that's-
movie.
Yeah. Get ready for Gizmo. I love Gizmo. He always has some hot takes about newer movies. So he's joking. But
Oh, okay. Well, there are
he's
some
having fun with it.
There are some people that are like that. It's just
no,
like-
he's having fun with it.
Okay, all right, cool. Yeah,
Anybody that doesn't know Corey should go over to his channel and subscribe. We're gonna try to get him to 1,000
Oh,
as
nice.
soon as possible.
I don't know. I'm surprised that as many people I do have subscribed to me. So I appreciate it. But yeah, no, Gizmo, he likes to have some fun with the
It's
comments.
good that we
so.
know these things about some of your regulars, 'cause some
Yep.
of them we don't know. Something else I appreciate about this movie was some of the deeper themes that it kind of
Yes.
touched
Yeah.
on throughout
Yeah.
the course of this. Like,
Yes.
what is a person? What makes a
What-
person
yes.
a person?
Yeah.
This is something that's touched on in some of the stories that I've worked on for my audiobook work, which a lot of them are RPGs, not lit RPG, which takes place in a game world, and NPCs running around thinking that they're people
Right.
and not knowing really what they are. And
That
but
movie Free Guy.
yeah, exactly. Yes. So yeah, that's it. I love this movie, and I can't wait to hear everybody else's thoughts.
So we should do like a broad plot synopsis
Yes, we should.
without
Sorry
any
about that.
spoilers. I'm gonna try to do this. You interrupt me if I think I'm spoiling something.
Okay.
Okay. So it's Jack Quaid. His character's name is Josh.
Josh? Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
He takes his girlfriend away for a weekend in the country with his friends.
Yep.
And then things start to go awry in certain ways. There's his friend Kat, played by Megan Surrey, and their two their friends. Let's see, Eli and Patrick, played by Lucas Gage, who I thought was freaking great, and Harvey Gillen. And so it starts dealing with relationship dynamics, and then
Yes.
Goes off.
Yep, relationship dynamics. And there are some hints that the main character played by Sophie Thatcher is very much like her entire world revolves around Josh. And
Yes.
and you can pick up a little bit on some unhealthiness going on in that
Yeah,
relationship.
exactly.
Even though it's not blatant
Right.
initially.
And then there's an event that I guess this sparking event involving her and the boyfriend of Kat, who
Yes.
we don't know what he does. We think he's involved in some shady
He's
stuff.
like a pretty bad dude.
Find out later what he does. And so there is a scene with those two characters, and I don't want to give away any more than that before spoilers.
That's really the turning point of
That is the turning point.
that sets everything in motion for this this story. Of course, the prologue kind of lets you know where things are going to. The voiceover prologue that she does.
Mhm. Yeah,
Yeah.
right off the bat. Right off the bat.
Exactly.
But you're like, okay, then you're at a.
Yeah.
Oh,
But you
sorry.
don't know why? Sorry.
No, go for it, Paul. Sorry.
No,
I didn't mean to talk.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, yes, right off the bat, you get the what's going to happen, but then it's like, okay, what's the ride to get to that point? You know,
Mhm.
you got the start and what the end is going to be, but what
The trailer
happens in
mentions
between?
that too. So,
Yeah.
So
you
I,
kind of-
I watched the trailer because I was like, all right, which movie could it possibly be? And it was like an hour and 41 minutes. What's coming out? So I thought it was maybe Monkey Man or God, what was the other?
Hard Eyes?
Eyes.
I was down between this and Hard Eyes. I was kind
Right.
of wondering about.
And so I didn't think anything of this movie. Like when I saw the trailer, I didn't think of anything. I'm like, oh, this looks like a good movie. I'm so glad that it was this movie. As soon as it came up, I was like, oh, hell yeah.
yeah. Well, that initial trailer or like I don't know if it was a teaser or if it
I
was
think
an
I
actual.
just saw
full-
the teaser. That's why
That was perfect because
Mhm.
it only showed you clips. Like
Yeah.
there's this one where you see her holding her hand over a flame and she's got her eyes are welling up with tears and she's just putting up with it. And you're like, what the hell is going on?
and I did myself a favor and I only watched like half the trailer.
Okay.
You're talking about the first one or the second one was the one that gives away.
I only watched half of the teaser.
Oh,
So,
okay.
I
Okay.
had way more surprise. Yeah.
Oh, good for you.
I think the teaser was great. I
Mhm.
wish I would not have seen the second trailer that came out.
Mm.
Yeah.
I still think you can have a lot of fun even if you saw that, but I would have even more fun, I think, if I had not seen that one before going into it.
Agreed completely because that trailer contains the first major twist of the story. There are more, but still, it would have been cool not to know.
I agreed.
I don't know. Whenever you guys are ready for spoilers.
Waiting for deleted to chime in here. His
Okay.
thoughts.
My thoughts. This was a surprise because the red flag for me was from the producers of Barbarian, and
Yeah,
I did not
Barbarian
like
fell
that movie
apart.
very much. It was a very predictable film, I thought, and I kind of came away from that being a little bored. However, and I kind of started out this way. I kind of started out that way with this movie for two reasons. Number one, I didn't like the characters at first. And the good news is you're not supposed to, as we realize as the film goes on. So that made things easier. But for the first 15 or so minutes, I was hoping Richard Brake's character from Barbarian would come back and kill these people. That's what I
Nice.
wanted. Richard Brake is in the fucking basement, and I need him to come out right now. I know he's down there. I will go down there and get him myself and bring him up here and allow him to kill you. No. But as it turned out, didn't need him. Although at first when that cop shows up, I thought that was him, but it wasn't.
Oh, really?
That would have been a nice cameo.
Wait, was it Officer Hendricks?
Yeah.
Officer Hendricks. Yeah.
I think that. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So yeah. And the other thing is, I'm not sold on Jack Quaid
So Hollywood is trying to
until now.
Until now.
Okay. What about the
Until
boys?
now, he
You watched The
finally
Boys?
won me over.
Okay.
I mean, he's
Yeah.
a total nepo baby.
Well,
He
yeah,
is for
that's
sure.
part of
You
it.
know, but the one of the main things I think about when I think about Jack Quaid is when I was at that panel in Dragon Con and I gave Carl Urban my brother's book where the main character was modeled after Carl Urban and Jack Quaid was right up there. There's a video of it
that's
too, by
cool.
the way. Yeah, and so
that's
and Jack and Jim Butcher. Oh my gosh, what the heck? Carl Urban opens up the book and starts looking at it, and Jack Quaid's like looking at it too.
Oh,
So
that's
it's cool.
funny.
That's all I think about now when I think of him.
Well, they're
But,
trying to make him a thing. He's
He's
what,
okay. I mean, I don't dislike him.
It
I
was
thought he
fine
was-
here.
Yeah,
who's the mom? Not Melanie Griffith.
Meg Ryan.
Meg
Ryan.
Ryan.
Yeah.
I think he did well with this role. He fit into that character. I
Oh,
think.
yes, he
Actually,
did.
so I don't know if you guys watched The Boys. His
Yeah.
role on The Boys is just like more fumbling, bumbling,
Yeah.
and oh god, I can't talk about it without spoiling.
I know it's kind of hard.
I know
to go.
we're not in the spoiler section yet.
So
We're getting there.
he plays this specific type of character very well.
Yes,
Yes.
agreed.
Yeah, he did.
On one end of the moral compass.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And he develops good or bad like throughout the movie too.
Yeah.
You know, like or maybe it's just us discovering more aspects of who he truly is.
Yes.
The way the story develops, you find out slowly
Yes, like the
More
the
about-
layers of the onion coming
exactly.
back little by
Yes.
little. Yeah.
And like it kept me guessing, like what's the deal? And then they had a subplot that I don't want to get into until spoilers, and then another
We'll get-
subplot. And so yeah, man, I love this movie. I
Same.
texted you guys like right after I got out of the theater.
You did. You always let us know what you think. Like I hold my thoughts. I'm like I'm gonna wait till showtime so nobody knows. I know.
I always love when they don't just hit you over the head right off the bat of who the character is, and something can kind
Yes.
of develop through the movie
Yeah.
and maybe surprise you a little bit too. To be
Yeah,
like,
this
oh,
movie was
you know, like there was a couple different things without it throughout the movie. Even with what we were talking about with the trailers and staying away from that, there was still some things through the movie, whether it was character development or other things that were happening that I was like, oh, okay, that is going a little different direction than I was expecting. But
Yeah.
Yeah,
and that's a
I
good
love it.
thing. That's a good thing.
Love it. Subverted my expectations in so many different ways. I like
In
that.
such good ways.
Yes,
Yes.
yes,
That's how
exactly.
you're supposed to subvert
Yes.
expectations.
Yep. Agreed. 100%.
Like we finally emerged from the dark age of cinema.
Well, not completely. I mean, we still have
But,
Falcon
like,
and that
this
Captain
movie, we're out.
America movie coming out.
In-
So
in this movie, we're out.
yeah,
we-
this one was just
It's
fantastic. y'all.
well written, very tightly written, very good
Mm-hmm.
script with very good story beats. The acting was fantastic across the board. There was no messaging, no pandering, no nothing. There were characters, and I didn't mind any of them.
Yeah. Did you guys hang around for some of the stuff it was showing during the mid credits?
Yes.
Like her driving.
Yeah, yeah, and
Mhm.
and then the very last scene of the driving
Yes.
Shoot.
When she passed
So
someone
I
else on the
was at-
road.
The wave.
Yeah.
Is that what you're talking about?
Like,
Sin?
yeah, that when she passed by another vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
On
But
the
then
road.
she kind of does a little wave.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Did you not see that,
I
Paul?
missed that because I was trying to hurry out. I had
Oh,
I got an email from like one online account and saying my email has changed. So it's like one of my accounts got hacked, and the entire time in the movie, I'm like, oh my god, I need to like
oh no! So you were
get
super
out and make a
distracted.
phone call as soon as possible.
Yeah, panic mode. Yep.
Everything's
Well, I had heard that there wasn't anything, that there were no post-credit scenes. So
Sure.
I started to leave, but then they very quickly started to show stuff during the initial credits. So I hung around until I was pretty sure that was over, and then I came home. I'm glad I saw that. Thought that was interesting.
I did too. Anymore, I hang out for a bit if I'm not in a rush. And last night it was nice. I was not in a rush. I didn't have anything I had to run back to, so I just sat around. And a lot of people. It was kind of funny. It was a smaller theater that I was in, but for that night for the discounted ticket, it was pretty cool. It was pretty full.
Nice.
It was a smaller theater, but it was pretty full. And a lot of people were hanging out, just waiting to see if there was going to be something else coming out during those credits. So that was cool.
Yeah.
Was there laughter in your theaters?
Yes.
Yes.
I started chuckling a little bit, and I almost was a little like, oh, I'm going to be that guy. Right. And then finally there was like two ladies next to me that started laughing at stuff. And I'm like, okay, we're together. And then I could hear other chuckles happening around at certain spots. So that I was like, okay, I'm good. I can go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, it wasn't goofy humor. It wasn't stupid slapsticky.
Yeah.
humor.
No,
It was just, it felt,
quips.
yeah, exactly.
Like snarky comments.
snarky and some dark comedy.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
But I had genuine chuckles coming out. Like I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, did I do that out loud? You know, and then luckily I heard other people doing it too, so I felt a little bit better about it. But that's what's cool when it was not slapstick. It was dark. It's dark comedy and some snarky stuff, but there were some genuine laughs that I had with that.
Very timely movie given what happened.
Yes.
Yesterday.
Oh yeah, about the.
And also just social commentary on a lot of different things. The main question that Sin you mentioned earlier is like, what is a person? How do you define a person? So it's deeply philosophical. Like,
Yep.
It is. I'll wait until
right
to compare it to another movie, but yeah.
I wonder if it's going to be the same one I'm going to bring up.
I'm curious. I'm curious what you guys.
Well, I know what it reminded me of, for sure. So,
so then we got to go all on 3.
Yeah. Wait till the true spoiler section.
So when are we going to enter the spoiler section? Because I do have a timer
shortly.
Because Deleted has to check out at 8:15.
I do have to skedaddle. Yeah, but I do.
You call it Deleted. You let us know.
I do. Before we go into spoilers, I do want to acknowledge some people who have joined us in the chat. The Horror Cat Dad. I like
Larry.
That name.
Hey, Larry.
Yes.
All right.
Greatest name on YouTube, right there.
Indeed. Of course, Gizmo, who we mentioned earlier. Good to see you, sir.
Oh, yeah. You'll see some fun comments later too. So.
Well, sadly, okay. Sometimes we do get original stuff and people poo-poo it and aren't interested. Exhibit A, Better Man, y'all.
Yeah,
that movie flopped. That movie flopped hard, and there are some people that seem to take a weird sort of pleasure in seeing that it didn't do well. I don't know if it's just because they don't like Robbie Williams or they think this is just some sort of Hollywood messaging film. It's absolutely not, but that is a movie that deserved to do so much better.
Yeah.
I think it will eventually in streaming, but unfortunately, and this was a movie well worth watching on the big screen. Very
100%,
original.
Yeah. And
very original.
Very good special effects. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And I think I know this guy, Nathaniel Arvin. Good to see you. Say hello to the kids for me.
Hello.
All right. Let's see. I don't want to miss anybody in the chat. Shadow of the Raven joining us from the UK.
Hey, Carl.
We are talking about Companion. which is going to be coming out in theaters here this week.
Friday.
So
yeah.
I canceled my ticket, but only
Mm.
because of work. But I actually feel like talking Arturo into going to see it. Maybe. he'll
Oh,
go see
I'm
it.
totally. I'm trying to get my girlfriend to go.
I would not. I think she would like it.
Look, I don't want to spoil. There is one scene, and I'll talk about it in spoilers.
Okay.
He's listening.
Okay.
Don't talk. Don't watch.
Yeah.
the
Don't
spoilers.
watch. Like mute.
We'll get there.
Mute your
We'll get there.
speakers.
Because there's one like sequence where I'm like, oh my god, she would just go nuts over this.
Oh boy. Okay. In a good way or a bad way?
In a good way. In a good
Oh,
way.
okay. All right.
All
But I
right.
don't want to spoil it for her because it's so good.
All right. One of my channel members, Geek Flag with Nate Knows, 1973, says, hello, deleted. Sin Corey
Hello.
off the cover. Good to see you too, Nate. All right. Laren McMullen has joined us.
Hey, Larry.
Good to meet you.
Hey.
Okay. Let's see.
Film
course,
Threat
Movie
gives it
Hunter
away in their
2020.
thumbnail, by the way.
Oh no, really?
Yeah.
There's been a couple other
The
people.
title
in-
of their thumbnail.
There's been a couple other channels I came across just today that in their title, I'm like, I've already seen the movie now, but I'm like, do not put that in
I
the
know.
title. Put
Yeah.
spoilers, and I'm going to review this or whatever, but don't put it in the title
Yeah.
because I literally read that before I had enough time to react to be like, oh, it's about this movie.
That
And
happens all the time. It's
No,
it's really
don't do it.
frustrating that clickbaity stuff that they do to grab your attention. I see it on Twitter all the time. I see it on
You ruin it for
YouTube.
people to.
It's
go out
so
and see it.
frustrating. And my review is completely spoiler free, because I honestly, obviously anybody who's going to still hang around, you're going to hear spoilers. But for my review, for those who aren't watching this, I really want them to go into this as blind as absolutely possible.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think
absolutely.
when I review this, I'm gonna like have, the regular, and then like cut off spoiler warning, and then because I want people to enjoy this.
Yeah, one of my friends that was knew I was going to be seeing a mystery movie, and he was guessing a couple of the movies, and it was a couple that we all kind of threw out at the beginning. And I did let him know when I came out what it was, and I'm like, don't watch anything else. Don't
Yep.
watch anything else about it. Just wait and go see the thing. You see a movie or a YouTube video, anything, trailer, whatever, that has anything to do with it, just don't.
Just
If
stay
you
off
have-
the internet.
Yeah, right. If you have any interest in it, just go see it. Just go see it.
In answer to the question that just popped up a little bit ago, we're talking about Companion.
Oh yeah.
All right. The same hello to the chat here, folks. All
I'm
right.
chomping at the
Um,
bit.
Sorry, I
All
feel
right.
like I'm talking way too much too. So
No,
you're
no.
not.
That's
No, you're
fine. That's
not.
fine. You're good. All right, folks. This is going to be the point because, as Paul has said, and as I'm sure you've all figured out, this is a hard movie to talk about without going deep into spoilers. So there are two things that I would like you all to know. If you do not want the plot of the film given away, just go ahead. I'm going to put up a spoilers banner.
Mhm.
Mute until I take the banner down.
Yeah.
Also, do not watch the second trailer.
yes.
Yes.
Do
Trailer.
not.
Don't watch any trailers.
Did you put the
And-
name of the movie too, like in the banner, so people will know?
Yeah, companion spoilers.
Companion spoilers, something.
Yeah, like a
Sorry,
big.
Paul. I interrupted you. What were you saying?
No. I don't want to spoil it for people because it's so fucking. I'm sorry.
I know.
It's so good. It's so
Oh, it
good.
is.
All right, I needed a
I love it
refill.
when I have a good time at the theater, you guys. It makes me so happy.
That was. Oh, I'm gonna wait. I'll wait till what I'll say about my theater experience. But
Yeah, I got my refill. I came up with a really good cocktail.
what is
Cola,
that?
Rye and milk.
No, nice.
It's like a Black Russian, except like it's tastier because it's whiskey.
Ugh.
I saw a guy that would make they called it a root beer float, but it was like some of that in there, but little root beer with it too. And it was
For my streams, I usually just do whiskey, But this one felt like this is a good drink for this exact.
I thought it was Bailey's at first. I've made
Mhm.
my own like homemade keto friendly, no sugar Bailey's.
Oh,
I
really?
made it this past Christmas. So tasty. It was so rich, but it's really tasty.
I don't know how you could do a no sugar, no fat Bailey's.
No, I didn't say no fat.
Oh, okay,
Because,
okay, okay.
because
Okay.
keto is
Corn
high
syrup or something. I don't know.
keto is high fat.
Okay.
But there
I
are
heard
a lot of sugar, alternative sweeteners that aren't artificial that
Okay.
are really good substitute for actual sugar and so much better for you. So
sounds like I need a recipe from you here sometime. So
okay, I'll give it
try
to you.
that out.
If you guys can get your hands on raw honey, all you need is just like a dollop, like a little, and the flavor is phenomenal.
Yeah, it's way too
Anyway,
sweet for me though. But raw honey's good.
Sorry, spoiler section.
Where what movie are we talking? No.
Sorry, deleted. We just kind of all right. This happens all the time.
Well, I'm not.
20,000
gonna help
Leagues
the
Under the
matter.
Sea. This is the movie.
Great movie.
Oh,
Great movie.
Rin Mesa. It's an origin story for Doctor Who's very first. No, but who knows? This could have been the same universe. No, kidding. He says he's going to stick to his whiskeys and bourbons.
Hell yeah,
All right.
man! After my
In
own heart.
moderation, my friend.
Yeah.
All right, and my stalker is here, Lady V.
Oh, hello,
Peeks
Lady
to
V.
the lead from the kitchen, probably my kitchen. Okay. All right. All right. So, folks, like I said, stay away from the second trailer. In fact, don't see any trailers for this movie. And when I take the spoiler banner down, then you can unmute if you don't want to hear.
Yes.
If you don't want to hear any of these. All right. So we are officially in spoilers.
All right. On three, which movie did this remind you of? 1, 2, 3. Ex Machina.
Ex Machina. Ex Machina was what I was going to say.
Machina too. Yeah. Okay.
That's a good one. I didn't even think of that, but yeah, absolutely, of course.
I loved Ex Machina. I need to rewatch.
I loved it until the end. I hated the end. Hated it.
Yeah.
I love the end.
Oh, I
that
hated
was like
it.
the scariest part.
Oh, I despised it so much because of what she did to the guy that was just trying to help her.
I
didn't like that. Yeah, I know. But it made me not like her character. So I wish she'd just been shut down a long time ago.
But no, that's immediately what I went to.
Yeah, that's a good comparison. Westworld as well, though. I can see that too.
Yeah.
Season 1.
Yeah.
So Jack Quaid is the villain.
Mm-hmm.
And he plays it very well.
He's the mastermind of everything.
So now we can spoil the plot.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Spoiler. Yep.
So like Kat's Russian boyfriend, who we think he's in the mob, but he's actually not. They all set it up so that spoiler alert.
Well, everybody else except for is her name Iris?
Iris, yeah.
Everyone else is in on it. Yes, exactly.
Except for
the guy
character, Patrick,
Mm-hmm.
because he doesn't know either.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a reason.
They're like,
for that.
oh, we're splitting it 3 ways, and Patrick's like, what do you mean?
Well, actually, that couple, neither of them knew of it until it hit that point.
No, they did.
No,
Yes,
because I thought they were like, what, we were just accessories to this, and they were like, well, we thought it would be more believable if we had more witnesses.
If you were witnesses.
I didn't know until that moment.
Patrick didn't know. His boyfriend knew.
Right.
Oh, I didn't think he did, but okay.
He did. That's why he put him to sleep. He said, "Go to sleep." Okay, so another big twist.
I could have missed that. Yeah, I could have missed that. Yeah.
They're all sex bots.
Yeah. So Iris is a she's a robot. She's a companion bot, and she doesn't she's been fed this fake history of how she met Jack Quaid's character, and Patrick, the boyfriend of what's the other guy's name? Eli.
It was Eli. Played by Harvey Gillen.
Yeah, I first noticed him in Reacher season 1. I thought he was hilarious. Patrick is also a bot, but we don't know this until after this murder has happened. Well, it was actually self-defense killing.
Yeah, it was exactly.
It was a self-defense killing, but it was a self-defense on her part, but murder on Jack Quaid's part.
Because
That's what he intended to do.
He set up the
He-
situation. To
Yes.
kill
and
the
he
guy.
pushed some levels of things in her personality to
Right.
edge it that way
he
even
felt
more.
that,
Not
yeah.
saying it couldn't
No.
happen naturally, but he was
Sure.
shoving it that
Right.
way
Right. Yes.
Right. Lowering her intelligence
and bumping up her aggression and
Right.
you know,
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like basically, he
and
was,
then putting the knife in there or
Yeah.
the scissors or
in
whatever,
her pocket. Yes.
pocket. So she was looking at it on the lakeside beach or lakefront or whatever. And she's like, well, why the hell do I have this in my pocket? Like, you could tell she was like trying to process.
She's like looking at it. Yeah.
Yeah. And then she puts it away. And then I guess they knew that it was Sergey, right? Sergey the
Yeah.
Russian. They knew that he was a womanizer there because, again, another spoiler, he was cheating on his wife with Kat.
Right.
And so, yeah. And the whole time when they first show up and you don't know that Iris is a robot, she's like, well, why doesn't your friend Kat like me? Which is like a perfectly, it's human dynamics. I know that,
Yes, exactly.
I some of my girlfriend's friends really don't fucking like me, but
She was like, I don't like the idea of you. I mean, there's these
Exactly.
little
Right.
hints,
yeah,
well, and she even digs into that a little bit more later, maybe some of those feelings under her skin of what she thinks her worth is and
Mhm.
how replaceable she would be to another model like
yeah.
All right, there you
Four
go.
more to hit
Thanks.
400.
All right. Oh, nice. All right, everybody, like, we
Yes.
got to pitch in. Everybody
Yeah.
from Off the Cover, that's
Cheer-
watching,
Yeah, y'all go
So,
sub to his
go
channel.
subscribe to Corey's channel.
Charity subs. No,
No,
I'm kidding.
Not
I'm kidding.
charity subs. It's
I'm kidding.
networking.
Dude, we're building
I'm
a
kidding. I'm
community,
kidding.
okay? Like,
I-
I roped in Sin into mine, and then Sin roped me into this.
Yep.
I'm building a community.
Exactly.
Oh, no,
That's how it works.
I'm a little bit self-deprecating, like
don't do
but anyway, but I think she digs into so maybe why she hated her or did not click with her or feel good around her even more with later she gets maybe a little drunk and then has a little more of a feeling conversation
Yeah.
with
Mhm.
her, and it kind of goes into like I know I'm the side woman, he's married, and how replaceable would I be with somebody like you that
Right.
he could just
Yeah.
buy? He has the money,
And
he could
that's-
just buy and
Yeah.
bring in. And
Between those two.
Yep.
So she's human,
Mhm.
and she feels replaceable. She's a robot. She doesn't feel replaceable because she doesn't know.
yeah,
But it's a good,
comparable roles. I
Yeah.
mean,
yeah, it's a good. I don't know, like, is that an allegory or not? I don't know. Like, just a good contrast.
but it's kind of like I don't know, like real life and what man made, but it's filling, good or bad, a need in somebody's life, and
Right.
But yes, go ahead.
So what type of people are, because they're working on sex bots now, like for real.
Mhm. Yeah, this is a thing. This is going to be a
This is-
thing.
This is a thing. What kind of people go for that, right? These are the types of people that can, well, not all of them, but someone who would conspire a murder, they kind of go hand in hand. Like, you're not that surprised that he conspired to kill Sergey because he's the type of guy that would get a sex pod.
Right, because they can't, like, people
Their moral
like that,
compass is like way off.
they obviously, but it's not necessarily just that, but they obviously can't form normal and natural and good, healthy relationships with
Yes.
Right,
humans.
Right.
So he could dominate her. That's a very clear indication of the type of person he was, too.
Well, that's the thing is like a healthy relationship. You're not going to be 100% always right. And the other one,
Yeah.
like bowing to your need. There's a give and take, and there's it takes a certain type of person that it can't handle that back and forth between that. It's a balancing act. I mean, any relationship in real life, and this was not real life what they're setting up for themselves.
Yep.
And that goes into it. Like, you're talking about what type of people. I know I'm jumping way ahead, and we'll get to it later, but I know it's not the ambulance, but the people from the company that come, some of the things that they say later.
Oh yeah.
Oh
So,
yeah.
I'll wait till that. But that reminds me of like what type of people are getting these.
Yeah.
And that's what made me think of Westworld, because they reminded me of those guys in the labs in Westworld who are also kind of pretty deviant on their own, to be honest. That's what made me think, okay, we're in season 1 Westworld land, and that's when you start to go, oh, you gotta think about it now. What are what is morality when you have these beings that you can essentially do whatever you want with?
Yep.
And exactly what kind of a person would want when it would want a sex bot, let alone, it gets creepy. It really does.
I'll wait, but I want to remind her before we end, I want to talk about that conversation about the 2 employees that come in that ambulance type vehicle towards the end. So I'll wait, because that's like way at the end of the movie.
I mean, I was just going to mention that this is also explored very, very well, not in this TV series yet, but in the Fallout video game franchise. They call them synths.
Okay.
So that's explored, especially in Fallout 3 and 4. So that's just another medium that this is explored in. That does it very well. Sorry, quick aside.
So anyway, she kills the Russian guy. She freaks out. And this is the first time the audience knows that she's a bot. Jack Quaid's character shuts her down. He puts her to sleep.
Right.
And then the friends are arguing amongst themselves, and they're talking about this money and how they're going to split it. I can't remember. She was gone at that point. Was she gone when we found out that the other guy was a bot? Had she'd taken off already?
I think that was when she was trying to break free from the chair, right?
I don't remember.
I don't think she originally knew. At that point, I don't think she knew. I think she was out of the...
She had already left.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, I think she was
trying to escape.
Yep.
And she manages to get the phone, which allows her to change her own configurations. I love that scene with her in the car trying to get the car to start.
Oh my God, that was so
good.
With the voice. Trying to match his voice print.
It's so good, Garuda Legends. It's so good.
But some of the dark comedy or the little chuckles I had was like, one of the points was when she got the phone and she got on there and was looking through it, and you can set the intelligence of, and it's like at 40%. She's like, really? I'm like, come on. She says, really? You're going to set me at 40% intelligence?
She's like, burp, all the way up to 100.
Yep. I love that. But that was like one part where I laughed, where it wasn't slapstick, but it was kind of like, okay, seriously, you just want somebody there that's at 40% intelligence?
I mean, she was already smart enough to figure this stuff out.
Right.
This is like, it's like what makes a person a person.
Yeah.
She
that made me laugh.
Human than some of the humans around her.
Yep. Yeah. But that was a laugh
that was
I got.
funny.
I mean, this movie could not have released at a better time. So just for the quick aside, is we had the largest ever stock drop in any company ever yesterday with NVIDIA because there's a competitor AI coming out of China. So this movie could not have timed it any better.
Yeah, I didn't find out about that thing until today or late yesterday.
Well,
so it's just very timely given how much AI is advancing.
Yes.
And
I mean, even like last week, all the announcements on like what the hell project, whatever the hell it's called, $500 billion into AI. like all the tech CEOs are
And
getting
how
together.
China showed that it could
Yeah,
be
yeah, yeah.
done with,
To try to,
like
so,
nothing
I
compared to.
watched like right before this, I watched a video. I want to shout out to this newer channel. Girl's name is Kyla Scanlon. So she was talking about the whole history of this thing, and essentially it's called DeepSeek. Is this AI from this Chinese hedge fund, and they basically, because they have all these sanctions and all these international rules, they can't import certain chips. They figured out how to do AI, like a Chat GPT type of AI, without make it so extremely efficient that they didn't need the chips. So that's exactly, like, that's why they developed like a GPT with $6 million, whereas like OpenAI and Meta and Grok and whatever,
Billions.
it's billions. So they showed how it can be done efficiently. The jury's still out. I think they stole the code, but
Oh, they probably did, because that's China. That's what they do.
yeah. But anyway, back to this movie. It reminded me so much of Ex Machina, because in Ex Machina you compare, like you try to figure out like what is intelligence, right? Like I guess it's what do they call it? The Turing test, where it's like, if I have a conversation with this GPT, do I know that it's a human or not? And I think we've actually passed the Turing test at this point. Now it's getting into like scary territory, because like you can't tell
Where it will lie to you.
right? Or when it will lie to you. Exactly. Which that was a setting in all the sex bots, that they can't lie. Which leads me into the section. If you're listening,
What she did to
turn
get
this
around
off.
it.
With the cop? With the cop?
Yes, with the language.
Oh,
So-
that was so brilliant, though.
So my girlfriend speaks fluent German.
Oh, that's so
It's
funny.
so-
That's so
I
funny.
want her to watch this exact
Oh,
part.
yes, that's the part you're referring to. Oh, my.
That was so brilliant. But that's she bumped up
She
the
was at
intelligence.
100% intelligence.
So she's like, I cannot lie, but she
She was
flips her.
she was spilling all the truth, but in German.
Yeah, right. She switched her language to be
It's a good
something
thing
she
she
knew
didn't
they
choose
would.
Spanish. She might have known it, because
Well, yeah, I mean, like pick something, wherever they were at. She's picking something that was not going to be probably highly likely the person
Right.
would be able to speak.
That's true.
And it is so funny reading the subtitles though. She's telling the truth, and he's like, are you okay? No.
No, I just murdered somebody.
Yeah, and she says it, but she's not lying.
What goes with the comedic timing? It's so good.
But
so
I thought that was hilarious. I got laughs out of that.
Yeah,
portion
that
of
was
it
a good
too,
one.
so.
That was a good one. But also the whole thing about the lying, so it worked to her detriment in some parts.
Yes.
But in other parts, it helped her, because when she was had the confrontation with the other bot, and she was trying to convince him of what was really going on. And
he's like,
she's
you're lying. And
yeah, she's like, I can't lie. So I thought that was so well done.
Yeah.
Such a well-crafted story.
And the fact that they crafted the origin of the relationship, where it's like Jack Quaid's character, Josh, right?
Yes.
Meets Iris in a supermarket. Eli meets Patrick
At a party.
at a
costume
party.
costume party. Yeah.
And then so when Josh resets Patrick to be his like boyfriend fembot, it short circuits the origin story. And so Patrick's like, well, I remember Eli, but now I remember Josh in that
Still had
dinosaur
remnants
costume.
left over.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I get, and that goes in the Ghost in the Machine kind of thing.
Yeah. When they kind of become self-aware or can
Mhm.
remember things you think you just
Has
delete
been
off of their
deleted,
system.
yeah.
And by the way, like, it wasn't in your face, but the way they did Patrick eventually dressed up as a cop was totally a nod to Terminator 2.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
I could see that. Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah. but
And
it
he was
wasn't
like a
in your
Terminator,
face.
too.
Like,
Holy
it was
cow.
just like, okay, this is what inspired this movie, and I like it. I like that how subtle it was.
Hmm.
Anyway, yeah.
That's the thing. I think there were some themes within it, but I don't think they were heavy handed with it. And I still could just enjoy the movie.
No,
you
it
know,
just
like,
touches on things a little bit to make you think, but it's not like it doesn't hit you over the head with a mallet or anything like that. It's just kind of like, well, you pulling for her, and she's not even human, but you're pulling for her because she's one of the more human characters in the whole story.
Because I think
She's sympathetic.
Yep.
she's sympathetic.
She's innocent.
Exactly, it's the innocence.
well,
Yeah.
something that's artificial that's showing more humanity than the people. that are
Exactly.
there.
And that was kind of a theme like in Terminator 2 with Sarah
Mhm.
Connor when she comes storming out the trailer. She has the glasses on. She drives off to go kill Miles Dyson. And by then the Terminator has lost his glasses and he's becoming more like a human. She's becoming more like a machine. There's like
Right.
those sorts of themes in here for sure. But
Mhm.
are we going to talk about the ambulance people? Because
Yeah,
I know
yeah,
you
let's
wanted
do
to
it.
mention it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Or they
yeah.
weren't ambulance people. They were people with the
I know. I
condition.
kept on calling them ambulance,
Yeah,
but
I
I always
know.
think about that
That's
because
what
they
I
have
kept thinking too.
the truck, but
Yeah.
the corporate, the people to come to the pickup. But no, I don't want to jump in too far, but yeah, there's just, when we were talking about humanity and like, I don't know, there was, in what type of people would do this, like purchase these types of things. Some of the comments that they hit pretty good, or not good, but hard for me when, I don't know if you just want me to get into it right
Go
now.
for it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
get into
Oh,
it.
go for
But
it.
there was right off the bat where, so it was like, it was almost like the grizzled veteran worker and the young
The rookie.
that's just dipping his toe into it, and he's kind of like, oh my, like, what is this all about? And he's like, oh yeah, he hacked it, he's gonna be
totally
totally in
modded it.
trouble.
He's
Yeah,
so
he
in
modded
trouble.
it, he's in trouble.
yeah.
And it's like, who would do this kind of a thing? And the guy that seemed like he was more like had been doing this for a long time, he's like, why else, like, why did they do any of these things? Some of them chain them up in their basements and
Yeah.
like torture them. Some of them use them as target practice. Like,
Yeah.
why
yeah.
did they do
Yeah.
any of these things? And it's like, okay, it's like, what's that line? that
Yeah.
line of what's morally right and like how, I don't know, how are they using these things, and whether they're not truly people, but for
But
all intents and purposes, they're
They
fulfilling.
think they are. They
yeah,
feel
right.
like they are.
And you're
and they
treating
can
the-
feel pain.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
you're treating them that way.
Yeah. Just because you can. Kind of like how
Yeah.
people abuse animals just because they
Yeah.
can.
Yeah,
Because they're
but
not
And
people.
that's the candle scene. where
Yeah.
she's
Yeah.
torturing
Yeah,
her.
yeah.
oh yeah, but that's what hit me. He made that comment of like, why would they do those things? And he's like, don't worry, you'll get used to it. Kind of a thing. Like, and I think that's like society sometimes. It's like, oh, it's bad, but
Yeah,
just you'll get used to it. Just
Yeah,
it's
you'll get
it's
all
just what
jaded.
it's just the way it is.
It's
Kind of a
things
thing.
that should not be accepted that are.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Or yeah, you just get, like you said, jaded or desensitized to
Mhm.
certain things,
Yeah,
and you're
that's-
just like, just accept it. Just
mean-
accept it. That's just the way it is, kind of a thing.
This movie is way deeper
I
than,
think so. Yeah.
than
Mhm.
people will give it credit for, I think. Much in the same way as Ex Machina.
Right. Yeah. There's definitely a lot of stuff in here you can to chew on mentally.
And by the way, like Sophie Thatcher,
She was
Oh, yeah.
she is so
She's
good.
great.
She's like her
Oh, I loved her in
mannerisms.
this.
yeah,
Her mannerisms, like at that time when she was before the killing of the Russian guy happens, and she gives this very awkward, weird little smile.
hmm
Like you could tell she was just she wasn't sure how she was supposed to be responding in this situation, so she smiled, but it wasn't a genuine looking smile. It was a really weird looking smile.
Well, it was a nervous. Yeah, it was
it
like
was
a
a
nervous.
very nervous,
yeah,
but
nervous
it was just very odd looking because
Well, during
because she's a
during,
machine.
But
during the assault, because that's what it was. It was an assault.
mhm.
On the lakeside. I'm sorry, but I was rooting for her to kill the guy.
Oh yeah, for
Because-
sure.
Doesn't matter if it's a fembot or a woman. Like, you don't do that. Just straight up, you don't do that.
So I didn't take offense that she did that to him? Because I'm
No,
just like,
no,
okay,
no, I
she's
was actually
protecting herself.
rooting-
Yeah,
I was rooting
exactly.
for her to kill him.
I mean,
Right.
he didn't know what she was. I don't think.
Sure.
Did he?
No, I think he did.
Mm.
I think he did.
That's
He
It's
was
part-
given.
okay. You're right because he said that's what you're for, or so he
Yep,
said. You're,
he made
you're exactly
comments.
right. He knew exactly what she was. Yeah.
He made comments and he kept looking at her in certain ways, and then he made the comment before that assault happened down at the
Right.
the lake. He kind of made like a, I already talked to my girlfriend, it's okay, she said I could, have my fun, kind of a thing.
Mhm.
And I truly think he knew what she was at
Yeah,
that-
no,
at
you're
that
correct.
point.
I had forgotten about that. Everybody knew except her.
Yeah, right. And but that's what's so I didn't get offended with her reaction to that, but what I got offended to was then finding out how much of a snake I'm blanking on his character name now, but that he pushed.
Josh.
Yeah, he put the knife in her pocket. He upped her
Well,
aggression.
yeah, it was a
like,
murder plot.
yeah, he was pushing for that outcome to happen.
Yeah.
And he
doggy.
was like, I don't know.
She's wanting my attention.
I love the dog there.
I'm sorry. She's like, pay attention to me, please.
But that's where I thought it was really bad, where you could see them setting up pieces for it to tumble down. They knew what the outcome, or they hoped what that was the outcome that was going to happen with it. But
Yeah, because you
Yeah,
have
he
the
was a complete snake.
he was, but you also have the extra added benefit of this has all been set up so she specifically can kill him.
Hmm.
Right. Because
So
Kat
that
and
that's
Scott
that's
plotted
that's the
against
plan.
Sergey for the money,
Mm-hmm.
and they needed like material witnesses. So, there's their moral compass. Like they set up their friends to be material witnesses.
Mhm.
Come on, like
So yeah, you're right. The other guy, what's that guy's name? Guy with the brown hair.
they had a lot of guys with brown hair.
The chunky guy.
Oh, Eli,
oh,
I
Yeah.
think you guys are right. He did not know about the
murder
plot.
No,
Oh.
I don't think he did.
No,
No.
he because that's what they were arguing about, and that's why that's when he told his companion to go to sleep.
And that was a twist.
But
I
he
wish
fell
I
right
would have.
into it. He was fine, after he found out, because like, oh, okay, I get some money. It didn't bother him at all that he was kind of like now involved in this murder conspiracy.
But I'll admit, when he told him to go to sleep, that was a twist for me in the movie, and I wish
for
I
me
would.
too.
And I wish I would have had that same twist with Iris.
I do too.
Yes, exactly. That's why everybody should not watch trailers.
Or if you don't want spoilers, don't be watching this right now.
I know. If you're, I'm sorry, you're getting a
I
ton of
was-
spoilers. You have been warned.
I was beginning to suspect though.
Really? Was it
With
when,
with
When
Patrick,
did you start
yeah.
to? I never even entered my mind. I was
Not
just
at,
like when
not
he.
at the beginning.
I thought they had like a nice, fun
For the-
relationship.
Yeah.
Patrick and Eli, and yeah,
But then there was a part of me that was thinking, it's too neat.
it's too neat
Yeah,
because
It
the
is
little
too
story of
neat.
how they met.
so
Yeah.
I hate to be like so surface level, but Patrick was way better looking than Eli.
You're like, it's
So
out
there
of
was, like, there was
it's out of
a-
your league. Out of your
That's
league.
another thing. Yeah, it's.
Well, to
That-
be fair,
I don't see it.
to be
That
fair
does-
to Eli,
that does
Yeah.
happen in real life.
but to be fair to Eli, he's not necessarily unattractive up here.
Yeah.
It's just because
his
of his weight
personality.
that takes away from what he would look like if he was slimmer.
Yeah, I mean, I used to work with a guy that like very closely resembled Eli with
Oh,
the
that's
same
funny.
mannerisms and everything. I got like, I mean, I loved having lunch with this guy Warren because like he would have wild stories that are just not appropriate for you.
Have you seen Reacher season 1?
I haven't. I need to.
So
watch
he
that.
was in there. Like I said,
He's
he
in
was
that,
the
yeah.
crime photographer. He played like a little side part, but he
Oh,
stood
I
out
didn't
to
realize
me.
that was him.
That was
Yeah.
him. That was the
Right.
first time I ever saw him, and I was
Oh,
like,
I
"Oh,
see.
this guy, he's hilarious. I like him." So I
I
liked
didn't
him
realize
in
that
here
was
too.
him.
Yeah, it was him.
But that was the okay. I know I'm going on a tangent, and we don't have to go way into it. But it was kind of curious how they dove into his relationship with Patrick, was a lot different than Josh with Iris.
Right? He wasn't
Mhm.
taking it. I feel like his relationship with Patrick was because he was lonely and he couldn't get anybody, not because he wanted to dominate somebody.
But then he
Yeah.
had this more of a connection or something with it, because there was that scene in the woods, you know, when they
Yes.
were going out,
Yeah.
and he was like, Patrick just put it. He kind of said, he's like, over the years I put it together. I figured it
Right,
out. That
right, yeah,
what
yeah.
and I know who I am. And they have that moment where he's like, I would never treat you like that. Yeah, I don't think of you that way. I think of you as an equal or a partner
Mhm.
in this. And so that was kind of interesting to see
Mhm.
the different dynamics.
And
between-
Patrick truly had these sentiments to the point that he basically self-deleted at the
Yeah.
end.
Right.
Yeah.
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 And so, one question I do have: did Josh get Iris, I bet he was renting Iris? Did he get
That
her,
was another point where I kind of laughed. Or
which made him look more pathetic? But did
Mhm.
he get her for
For purposes of that,
purposes or the murder?
I don't know. Is that really? That's a good question, because I could see him being sneaky enough that he rented her. He didn't buy her.
Yeah, that's the other
So
thing.
It makes you think.
That whole part, I was like, oh gosh, that's got to sting. Like literally, I was like, I don't even have enough money to buy you. I'm just renting you.
Yeah,
And I'm like,
in
oh my gosh, like how could you tear somebody down to the smallest?
Yeah.
It just shows you
Denominator.
how cruel he
Yeah.
was
Right, exactly.
at his core.
Yeah.
In retrospect, I'm wondering now if he, just rented her for this one purpose or
It feels like it fits
the other
so well
purposes.
if
But
he
it,
did.
it does, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
One other little
So-
clue, like before the twist that we find out she's a robot,
Mhm.
is when they're in bed together and he just like whatever. When he finishes, he just goes to bed and she's just like lying there, basically like.
And then he's just
Okay.
like, just go to sleep.
inflatable.
So yeah, he told her to go to sleep.
Go
yeah.
to sleep. Just go to
And
sleep.
you didn't see what happened because she was in
Right.
she was in the
It was
dark.
in the dark.
Right.
Yeah.
But at the time, if you didn't know anything else, you'd just be like, dang, that's cold.
Like, wow, that was
That's
rough.
cold. Like,
Yeah.
okay, you got yours and you're
That
just
was-
like, go
that
to
was-
sleep.
That was the first clue of what kind of person.
That something was
Yeah.
not right in their relationship. Yeah.
Yep.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Oh, so
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Wait,
that
she
was
says, "I'm
that
like-
was one of the
yes."
coldest lines of the movie, though.
I
Like he
feel
was being brutal. With
Yeah.
her.
Yeah,
Like,
he was terrible.
I think he was figuring out that she had some feelings because he played on that
Mhm.
at the end then too. Like, oh, you still
Well-
love me, kind of a thing.
Yeah.
But so when this kind of one of the final showdowns, but when he knows, he might not feel it, but she has some feelings for him, and he's using that, and he's like,
Mhm.
just like it's like sticking the knife in and twisting it. It's
Yeah.
like he's saying things that I'm like, that could be the most cruel thing in the world to you to say to somebody. That is
But he
sitting there
didn't- he
saying they
didn't
love
care.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Which made Josh such a compelling villain.
Yeah, but that's what we were talking about earlier. I think his villain status just developed as the movie went. Because at first you're like, oh, he seems like an innocent, like goofy kind of guy a little bit, and then it just
And
keeps
even
on
then, like,
amping up.
He's a nerd. And
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
No. He's just straight up evil.
Oh yeah,
He's just bad,
Yeah.
bad.
but he just slowly lets you see that during the
Mhm.
movie.
Yeah.
Like layers of an onion. Like
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
I love it when
That-
things
that's
are revealed that way.
One
Yeah.
thing that this movie does well is it peels all of these characters like an onion, and you think that they are all a specific thing at the beginning, and then you find out that they are the exact opposite of that. You have the robot who knows he's a robot, and he is starting to develop feelings. You have Sergey, who you think is this kind of billionaire gangster hiding out.
Yeah.
And you kind of realize when you find out
He's a
Yeah.
sod farmer.
Yeah.
how did he get all
Yeah.
that money?
He's not a good guy, but
Well, he's not a good guy, but
Russian
he's not a
mobster,
gangster.
That's right.
No,
Yeah.
but none. Well, that's
He's
the
an
thing.
ass,
None
but
of them
maybe
are
you
really
shouldn't
good.
kill him
That's
over
the fun
it.
part. Um, you know. But that's the thing, is that everybody kind of reverses during the course of the film. And, you know, Eli becomes more bloodthirsty when he's not at the beginning.
Yeah.
You know, Kat is the one who's all for it. And the guy was a bastard. He's probably screwing around on me too. So let's just kill him and get the money. And then she kind of course, once it's over and it's too late, she's starting to reverse herself. Going, okay, because now there's collateral damage that's starting to take place too. And I was like, okay, this is not what I signed on for.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And whether some people would say it's predictable, whatever, Iris, I found myself just rooting for her more and more.
Yeah.
Like,
oh yeah.
through the movie. And when she got the phone, like we were talking about earlier, and like her doing like, oh, seriously, you got me at 40% intelligence and shit. And I'm like, yeah, you go. Like, put it 100%, go for it.
So
like,
there was one thing that when I was driving home, I was thinking to myself that could be perceived as a con, but maybe not really, and it's probably nitpicky. So she is supposed to be this sex bot, and Patrick too. So they, you know, you would think they would be created to be these perfect specimens of what a person is. Patrick has a scar on his lip. She has crooked teeth. They're not perfection. And I'm like, well, you would think if they're supposed to be represented that way, that they would have done something with these physical features of theirs. But then I thought to myself, well, if they want to make them seem more and more realistic, they would have they wouldn't be total perfection. They would have things that make them seem more like a human, like not perfect teeth, a scar on the face.
Right.
I thought the same thing, and I think that's the perfect way to blend them into humanity.
Yeah,
is
exactly.
not to have them perfect, because somebody would be like, oh my gosh, how do you have the perfect white straight teeth,
right,
or
yeah.
you don't have a receding hairline, or you don't have gray hairs coming out of your beard, or whatever, you know, like you don't have those imperfections, but they blend them into it to make them blend into society.
Well, I also have to like, just to piggyback off that, I have to call out the fact that the what do you call it, the what they get dressed in, the outfits, the costume design,
the costume design,
for
wardrobe,
very closely mirrors like the
1950s.
like,
yes, the way she does her hair,
exactly,
the way her hair is done. Yes,
I was like,
that's
what
intentional.
What is Veronica over here?
Yeah.
And that's what I took, where I think that was some of the messaging that was being thrown into it, but I also felt it wasn't heavy-handed with it. But I think some of those were intentional pieces to harken back to a certain age and thinking of some things. And and then even her jumping into the old Mustang, you know, at the end. you know, like it's back to the 60s, you know.
Yeah, that's true.
It was like a 65 Mustang or whatever she was in, but it was, anyway, it's throwing back to that era and maybe some thinking and where they want to go with it. But
almost Stepford Wivesy stuff too.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, for sure.
Especially like at the end when she sees the other model of herself.
Yeah.
And she like waves
Does
to her.
the
That's
wave.
what you missed. She was driving down the road and she passed a car with a girl and a guy and a girl in it, and the girl was another model of her, except like blonde hair or whatever. And she looked over at her and looked a little quizzical, and then she waved her. She had a robot hand, right? She waved her robot hand.
She had peeled off. That was the burnt hand, and she had peeled off.
And she waved it. Yeah.
Yeah, but she's in the older Mustang at that point.
Yes.
And I think that was that nod back at that. And when she pulls up, the guy's like, looks like he's visibly agitated, whatever. He's yelling, or he doesn't look like he's super happy the way he's talking to her. And she kind of looks over and she waves with the robotic hand, kind of like a wake up call, or, you know, like kind of like.
Yeah. And you kind of start to see the gears turning a little bit in the other one.
Because she's like, what am I seeing? Yeah. You can see like something going on there. But.
So yeah, go see this movie.
I enjoyed this one. I'll admit right now, this was the first one I actually got to go to for a mystery movie.
Okay.
So the theaters that I have, they don't have them, I don't think, as often as you all get them. And hey, Del, what's up?
AMC or Regal, or what do you have?
Marcus.
Yeah, see, that's interesting. So
We
you know,
have
Cinemark
Marcus.
is now starting to do these as well.
Our AMC went under that we had around us.
Oh,
Sucks.
sorry.
They closed it up. They bought out it was Carmike
Oh,
originally.
Carmen. Yeah.
And then AMC bought it out, and they were in the middle of remodeling the whole theater, and now it's boarded up. They shut it down
Whoa.
completely. So now we just have Marcus around us, and which they're good. I like them, but when you were talking about some people have these mystery movies almost like weekly, almost or bi-weekly or whatever.
A month.
Not always. Sometimes I think was it that's the time, by the way. There was
sorry.
one month where there was one month where we were having it every Monday, like 4 Mondays in a row, but that is unusual.
I just don't think, I don't know if Marcus gets them as often, but that's
Well,
when I sent that thing to you, Sin, because I know you've done
I'm
them.
so
Like,
glad you reached
but
out.
I was like, this is cool. It says R horror mystery, $5. I'm gonna do this, and I was like,
so
is this the same one
I mean,
you're
yeah,
having?
$5
it's like
for-
across all
Yeah.
all chains.
Yeah.
It looks like they do this, and almost all the time they are the exact same movie, whether it's AMC, Regal, now obviously Cinemark, and then yours.
I was
So-
worried I was going to show up and it's going to be a completely different movie.
But you know that's okay because we had already decided if that ever happened, we would
Right.
just talk about whatever the other movie
Yeah,
was
yeah,
as
yeah.
well.
Okay.
So
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
it's a shame with the theater shutdowns because like there was a theater around my mom's house. There was this massive AMC theater. It was like 24 screens. Shout out Hamilton, New Jersey. Like, holy cow, that was one of my favorite theaters because it was the first time that I did like a big 3-movie marathon. I remember I watched Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, Robots, and some Chinese kung fu movie that Kung Fu Hustle. And it was just this massive theater, all comfortable, and then shut it down. And now
oh.
the only AMC is the Princeton at Market Fair, which is a nice theater, but it's not as big. And
That sucks.
the Regal by there isn't like refurbished. Neither is the AMC further north. So anyway, yeah, sorry, didn't want to hijack.
Well, we're wrapping up, Dell, because Deleted has to run. So yeah,
Unfortunately,
I hope you guys
yeah.
go watch it. And
I'm on mute, but thanks for Del for just saying hi.
Corey hosting a live stream on the Thursday the 20th. Is that what that is? Definitely want to invite you on.
Hey, if you're willing to put up with me,
Oh, yeah, the 20th. That's right, because you're in and I'll be on your channel on the 6th, Corey.
yes, and I gotta put some stuff out there. I've been bad. This has been so busy lately that
It's okay,
I've been
it's called
meaning to
real
get
life.
it scheduled and put on there. But yes, I got some incredible women that will be on my channel talking about some horror movies, so that will be pretty fun. So,
Looking
but
forward to that.
but
If
Paul,
you're trying to get Nadia, I'll send you her Twitter. She's freaking awesome, and I want Sid and Nadia to get together.
I know one day would be cool to meet her. I've only seen her like when she's been on a stream and I've been in the
could
comments.
make one stream and she made it on, and like it's just you're crossing paths.
but yeah, no, Paul, no worries. Like, don't feel pressured. But if you want to have me on, like, shoot me the info and
Absolutely.
you don't have to twist my arm too hard to talk about some movies and hang out and geek out on some
The
things.
invite's there.
Yep,
Look,
something I could do all day long.
Yep.
We got Kyle over 1,000 through the streams.
This-
Yep.
This is my escape. I love this. So-
Yeah.
Same. Oh.
Well,
thanks,
Sin and I
Lindsay.
basically started the show, Lady V. So it's like, I can't do it without her. Yeah.
Oh well, you were doing it without me before, and then I was like, and then I was going to the mystery movie, and I would sometimes do like little short reviews, but I didn't live stream. And then I saw you were, and I'm like, I want to talk about these things with somebody.
Yeah.
So it's like,
Listen, I
let's
met
do
you
this
on
thing.
Mike's live stream, right?
Was it Mike's? Did you see that? Maybe.
Think.
Was it Mike's or was it Delete? Was it
No.
Delete?
I think it was Mike's.
It might have been Mike's.
and then like I invited you on mine, and then you invited me to this.
Yeah,
so.
I had been on a stream with you, and then you invited me.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's really cool how we
I
end up
know.
eventually meeting each other. And
I mean,
It's kind of crazy how it all happens, but
know.
it's fun
I
to
love
meet
it.
new people and do this.
Absolutely.
I have a blast doing this. So I know we need to start wrapping up, but I'll just say I really appreciate you all having me on tonight. This is a lot of fun for me. So
we're so
I
glad you
appreciate
could
it.
make it.
Thank
Oh,
you
thank you.
for asking. So
Well, thanks for reaching out. So next time,
Yeah.
if you have one, let me
well,
know.
and I truly didn't mean it that way, but I was just like, oh hey, I actually have one popping up this month, and I was like, is this
we
one that
may
you're
as
doing
well.
too?
Let's
Yeah.
let's add more to it because we don't always have everybody show up.
Yeah.
'Cause
Yeah.
Kyle
'cause
can't
Kyle
always
couldn't
make it.
today.
Yeah.
But like I said, I was waiting for it to be like, oh, I had heart eyes, or so. like I'll just sit here for a minute. but I love that it. Maybe they all kind of coordinate, even across.
I think they
theater
pretty much
groups like
99%
that.
of the time. they do.
Mostly, yeah.
There's
Yeah.
been
It's
once or twice where it's been something.
because
And
is it always been kind of like a Monday before the release of a movie?
No.
Okay,
It used to
okay,
be like
okay.
several weeks before. And then they
Oh.
got closer
Yeah.
and closer to it was
Okay.
like the same week. But
Mhm.
then September 5 was another one of those ones where it released
Like a few-
earlier than
Yeah.
it came out in the theater, much
Good.
earlier.
Because this one's supposed to be out this Thursday,
I
Friday,
had my
right? Yeah.
ticket. I had a ticket for it. So yeah, this week.
Well, that picked my movie. I ended up doing that. I was actually going to go see tonight. Originally, I was going to go see Presence tonight.
Oh,
I saw that on
Oh, good one.
Saturday.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
then when that popped up, I was sitting. So
So glad you chose it.
So
instead.
Sin, just so you know, this is how important you are. I was sitting watching a little bit of football at a sports bar,
Oh,
and
no.
I saw that pop up, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I actually have a mystery movie night, and I sent it, and I was like, is this one that you're gonna
that's
have?
so funny.
You know? So I was eating some wings and having a beer, and
That's so funny, and I was a little late getting it set up too because Deleted sets it up, and then he gives me the link, and so that's funny.
Yep.
I'm glad it worked out the way
yeah,
it did.
yeah. So I didn't end up going tonight, which I'm perfectly fine with. I'll see Presence another time. But originally, before that thing popped up and I saw it, I was originally thinking about trying to go see that tonight. But
the question is, are you fine with the Super Bowl?
am I fine with the Super? I'm fine with it.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm not
lazy.
I'm honestly, I'll watch it. I have so much fun watching it, but I just don't have. I'm in Iowa. I don't have. I know people have alliances to
Sure.
different teams, but I just don't. I never grew up with a team,
Yeah,
so I just have fun watching. As long as it's a good game, I hate a blowout. I just want to see a
I'm a
competitive.
Giants fan. Given
Okay.
my location.
And we are holding Deleted up.
Oh yes.
Oh,
With this football
yeah.
talk.
Okay.
I was
No,
gonna
that's
say
okay.
we can wrap her up. Sorry,
we can.
Okay.
I don't shut up, so I'll shut up.
As much as I would like to go on with the discussion,
I know you
bring
gotta
that
go. I
in.
mean, we can chat off screen still if you want to, but I know he's got another one he's got to get to.
okay.
It's-
So,
Thanks again.
so we're yes, thank you very much, Corey, for joining us tonight. I think we're all in agreement here. Companion, 2 thumbs up. What's
I
the end?
enjoyed it very
And
much.
thumbs up.
Absolutely.
I enjoyed
Yeah.
it very
Yeah,
much.
exactly.
All
Yeah,
right.
I'm gonna give my dog will give a paw. He gives a
There you
paw.
go.
Aw,
He's like, "What'd you wake me up
pause.
for?"
Pause.
And welcome to Scottish Skeet Guy.
Hey,
And
Jimmy.
thank
Hey.
you to everybody
Hey, Jimmy.
who has
Yes.
joined us in the chat.
He's
on all
actually
the
in
various
Scotland,
channels.
so
Wow.
Oh, nice.
Right on.
he's
Okay.
early morning hours.
Wait,
there.
wait.
Does he know Wolfman's got nards?
I don't know, Jimmy. Y'all have to let us know if you
Yeah,
know
check him
or not.
out. He's another Scottish guy. The drinker isn't the only Scottish YouTuber.
Jimmy is my Scottish YouTuber. That's-
All right.
a
So
good
I think we will go one more time around the horn. Sin, what do you have coming up?
I'm just going to try to get my review for Companion up maybe for Thursday. That's the only thing in the immediate. I'm going to try to finish watching Armand so I can put a review up hopefully over the weekend. But that's all I know of at this point.
All right. Corey.
I'm kind of light really right now. I know Sin was throwing out there that I do have I'm trying to form it, but I have a great group of women that love horror movies that are going to be coming on my channel to talk about that. So we'll have that coming up, I believe, on February 6th, and have a couple other things in the works to come up. But yeah, I play it by ear. I have fun. I love doing this. And like this was, I had no idea this was going to be going on until whatever that was, Saturday. And I love it, and enjoy doing this. So like, again, thank you very, very much. I appreciate you having me on, and had a great time doing this.
Great.
And that's
Great
way
to
too
have-
much of my face on the
I
big
know,
screen.
right?
We need to go to somebody
one
else.
time he had me exploded up really big, and then his internet crapped out, and I was just like
Yeah.
left on the screen. I was like, all right, delete it, make me small.
I was sitting here trying to avoid eye contact with myself for a second. I'm like, this is getting kind of weird. I'm like, but no. Anyway, I did have a lot of fun. I appreciate it.
Glad you
Yeah, it
did.
was
It's
great
great having you on. And if you're able to join us for the next one, let us
Yeah,
know.
Yeah,
please.
if they're long as they're
let us
having it in
know.
my
Yeah.
area, yeah.
Sure.
All right, Paul.
So I just put up a video comparing Neo from The Matrix to Socrates, and it's not getting a lot of views, so please go check that out. I have a David Lynch tribute video that I shot. I need to edit it. And then hopefully Thursday. And then I will probably put out my companion review Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Maybe I'll wait till Sunday release just to not have spoilers. And then we have a Thirsty Thursdays live stream on Thursday, February 20th at 7 p.m. Eastern. You all are invited. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Right on.
I can find something
Okay.
to pour for a drink and come to that. So,
There you go. Yeah.
hey, Chilo.
Hello, Chilla. Good to see you.
Hello.
All right, brings things on around to me. If you stick around on my channel, you'll be redirected to my next stream, which is live from Sparkwood in 21. It is a Twin Peaks retrospective series, which I co-host with Troy Pacelli, Netters Network, who is with us here in the chat, and Aged Boomer, who is also with us in the chat. And tonight's subject is going to be, who is the next David Lynch? Is there a director out there that could possibly, if it is possible at all, to take his place? It's going to be an interesting show, so join us over there. Let's see. Thursday at 3:30, I am going to be joining Outlaw Bill for his show, Action Theater, and we are going to be watching a movie we actually sort of brought up indirectly, Jack Reacher, the first one with Tom Cruise. And later that night will be my show, Coming Attractions. That'll be at 11:30. All these times are Eastern. And Friday night, I will be joining Big Al Presents for his show, Films with Friends, and we are going to be watching Disney's Those Darn Ants. No, Them from 1954. So, classic giant ant movie with James Whitmore and Marshall Dillon himself, James Arness, which would actually be 2 in a row because we did The Thing last time. So, yeah. So join us for that. All right.
Thanks, deleted. I love this. I
Thank
love
you.
this.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Great.
it's so
this
much
too.
fun.
Oh,
It
good.
really is.
And of course, a shout out to Kyle, who unfortunately couldn't be here with us tonight.
Would have loved to
Kyle?
hear his thoughts on this. I think.
Oh my
Indeed.
God,
Yeah,
totally.
that would have been great. Yeah. I'm just glad that it was a movie that we all
Yeah.
enjoy. I mean,
Yeah.
disagreeing is fun.
Yeah.
Flight risk. Flight risk. Flight risk.
Whoa. Flight
But-
Risk was entertaining.
Right,
It was,
okay, Paul,
was
exactly.
mid.
Yes, thank you.
It was mid. It
Hard
was
cut,
totally
hard cut.
predictable. but it
Hardcut
was
didn't
fun.
like it. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly right. It's not stellar. I wasn't as enthusiastic about it as I was about Companion, because this is obviously a more solid, more excellent film, but I still enjoyed Flight
Mhm.
Risk. Okay.
It's not too bad agreeing though. Too, it's fun to have a.
It's fun.
Fun
But
movie.
it's great to have a fun movie that you all can be like,
Yes,
oh,
and
you all
excited.
agree
I
on
know,
it, you know,
right?
and be excited about it. And I'll agree. This was a fun one. I had a good time with it.
As did I.
I'll stop.
All
talking.
right. Well,
Thank you, deleted.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Well, that wraps it up for tonight's show. I want to thank everyone who is in the chat, everyone who joined us on X. I can't see you, but I know that you're there. Everybody who is watching here in the live chat, anybody who's watching later on delay, anyone who is lurking in the background, which is quite all right. You do not have to engage with the chat, just as long as you enjoy the show. Hit the like, share out the stream, and of course, subscribe to everybody on the panel. Corey is 4 away from 400. I'm 7 away from 5,000.
Nice.
So yeah,
Oh yeah.
it's been an interesting few years here for me on YouTube, and here's
Keep
to
chipping away at it.
chipping away, indeed.
Yep.
So, as I always say at the end of every show, from HQ and all points north, south, east, west, and beyond, good night, take care, stay strong, be safe and healthy, because this is how we win.
Bye, everybody.